Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our kickoff for Season 6 here in the Overwatch Tranquility community. I am Mr. Yeti, your host for this evening's festivities. Joining me tonight on the Iris, we have Captain Jack, we have Booth, we have NPC, and Bard. Welcome, everybody, to our debut show for this season, and really what is truly the absolute kickoff for the 6th season here in the Tranquility community. So we are thrilled to have you aboard. We're going to dive right in because we have a loaded cast as usual, and knowing us, it's going to run long. So let's get this thing started up with our usual start-off segment, which is Amp It Up. Amp It Up is our segment where we ask 3 questions of our cast. We ask them, what did you notice the prior week? What are you looking forward to most this week? And your spicy hot take or your cold, hard truth. So we will start it off today. NPC, you'll kick us off. What did you notice last week here? I guess I should say the whole preseason here in the Tranquility community.
Well, last week specifically, I want to talk about that, our Twitch viewership. We're talking over 100. I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger every season, and that's amazing. If we can hold that, if we can do 3 productions every week, at least 3, 4, including the podcast, and we can hold over 75 viewers, almost 100 viewers every single show, we can make partner by the time the season's over. That brings a lot of benefits to the Tranquility community. It brings a lot of legitimacy to what we're doing here, which means we can start attracting some attention from even things like sponsorships and prize pools to even just nice little perks being hosted and being seen and retweeted by some bigger names. That's exciting. I mean, when I saw those numbers, I was like, wow, we're seeing these numbers in preseason. What happens when we get to the finals?
Indeed.
It's gonna be nuts.
A lot of fun. Hey, and watching the stream is the best way to support the Tranquility community. And in addition to that, watching the stream earns you those channel points. There's some things about those channel points that are kind of exciting. We'll get to that a little bit later. But anyways, let's kick it over to Bard. Bard, what'd you notice in the preseason?
Well, sometimes we watch these preseason tournaments and one team kind of steamrolls through every single game and there's no issues for that team. But this season, most of the games looked very competitive and most of the tiers looked very competitive. And it was very interesting to see just how competitive some of even the earlier games were, especially like you look at Discord tier. Ragnarok won, but they almost got knocked out by Blizzard Bears, game 2. In the Transcendence tier. We saw some upsets that saw a team that actually got knocked out keep playing, and we saw a very close game coming from them. And we saw a couple teams that got knocked out round 1, got those passes, got the chance to come back, and looked very competitive. So I think that this season's going to be really good based just on how close and competitive preseason was.
All right, Captain Jack, what did you notice in the preseason?
Well, see, I got to come up with something new because NPC stole my thunder. But, I have to say that it was absolutely outstanding, the matches that we saw last week. And I saw that a lot of people were kind of being hard on themselves, that, we didn't live up to our full potential and this, that, and the other thing. So I want to take this time to remind you that it's just preseason, folks. It's just a little thing that we get going, gets you warmed up, gets your eye out to, who are the big fish in the big pond that you're getting ready to start swimming into. We got a lot of tournament to be played out over the next couple of months.
It's true.
Months, folks. So you have got plenty of time to turn things around and show us what you really got.
And this preseason was definitely exciting. We saw a lot of new teams do great, but also very importantly, we saw a lot of new talent on the Twitch team. Lots of new production. We had new casters, and I just kind of, there's a lot of lurkers out here right now. I know a lot of you guys are in scrims, and I'm kind of calling you out specifically. You're in a scrim right now. Stop listening to what you're doing. Stop everything you're doing. Can we just type out, clap. Just clap. Just like that.
Any clappers in the chat?
Any clappers in the chat? Just get a clap in there. Just clap for the boys. And clap for the girls on the Twitch team. They're doing a fantastic job. Just get a clap in there for them. I know you guys are watching and listening. Just respect what they're doing. They're doing a really good job for us. So get your claps in chat for those guys. They're doing fantastic. And last but not least, Booth, what do you think?
So out of all the people to say stuff about the Twitch team, it should have been me, but I didn't pick that. I wanted to talk about. I'm a little rusty when it comes to meta play. For some people who are new here, hi, my name is Booth. I used to play Overwatch. I haven't played Overwatch in years now, but I've always noticed with the preseason, is that some teams are treating it as kind of just refining what they've picked up in the preseason, the new players they've worked on. Some are trying to solidify the meta game that maybe they're not used to. Maybe their new players came from the competitive realm and they haven't really had to worry about meta play or playing certain compositions. And I've normally, like you would see, like Harmony tier game, there's a lot of people playing comfort picks. Discord tier, people playing the meta heroes, but maybe not playing the actual meta play. And then Transcendence tier was the teams that were pretty well defined. But I mean, this year, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on all of it, we saw pretty much some of the same comps across all 3 tiers in the finals this year. You saw the right tank compositions. You saw a lot of the Echo Tracer, Electra Sombra. And I thought it was really fun to watch that because, like, normally I watch it and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to watch the Transcendence tier to see the people playing these comps. I don't want to say correctly, but, the way they're supposed to be played. But, I mean, you're watching flashbacks. We're all learning. But you're watching flashbacks and Koala Kings, and they were running the Sigma ball like perfectly. They were running the Echo comps. It was so much fun to watch. And I think that's a really cool thing that maybe we're this far into the game of Overwatch that now we don't have to worry about only some of our tiers of games showing off the Overwatch at the kind of level of play. We'll be able to see it across all 3 tiers now.
Definitely. It was a fantastic preseason. Again, congratulations to your preseason champions in the Harmony tier, Flashbacks, in the Discord tier, Ragnarok, who I would like to say, just saying, Ragnarok fan club right here. And then in the Transcendence tier, shout out to Ghostly Peppers winning the Transcendence tier preseason championship as well. So congratulations to all our preseason champs. But you know what? Enough about preseason. You know what that means? Not a whole lot. We've seen teams win the preseason, completely fall apart during the regular season. Now is when the cream rises to the top, and let's see who comes out on top this season. And we're going to start off with what you guys are looking forward to most this coming week. NPC, kick us off.
I kind of want to piggyback on what Bard was talking about earlier. It's anybody's game right now. All the tiers are so competitive. There might be a couple of standout teams here and there in each tier, but we don't know how much sandbagging is going on, how much they're just kind of working out the kinks and trying out new players in the preseason. What we saw isn't always going to be what we're going to end up with. Just these teams, all of them I just see so much talent. I see so much potential. All of these teams have all season to grow, and I see a lot of seeds out there, and we're just going to put some sunlight on them and see what sprouts.
All right, let's get to then Bard, what are you looking forward to most this week?
Well, I don't know if we've looked at what our feature matches are for this week, but we've got 2 preseason champions who are playing in our first week of feature matches against 2 teams that weren't in the preseason tournament.
Yep.
So this is going to be a really good time to see, as like I said, very competitive games throughout the preseason in both of their tiers. Do they continue the streak that they're on in the regular season, or will they, in their first game of the actual season, will they falter, and will we see some weaknesses out of these teams? And more importantly, will these comps that they've shown that they run in the preseason be effectively countered because this information is now out in the open?
And certainly less of a defined meta than we've seen historically right now. So there's a lot of counterplay going on. We see a lot of different tank compositions, a lot of different DPS compositions. I know a lot of people think they know the best composition, but there's also a lot of theory crafting going the opposite direction. So certainly going to be interesting to see who comes out and plays what kind of comps when, what kind of counter comps we see. Lots of excitement for sure. Captain Jack, go ahead.
So I want to build off of what Bard was just talking about. So in the preseason, we had upwards of 16 teams per tier participating. There are upwards of 24 teams maximum in each tier. So there are at least 8 teams that we did not see in every single tier. Some of these are Trank veteran teams, and some of these are absolutely brand spanking new that we have no idea what we're looking at. We have what we normally see in the Discord tier every season, which is just an absolute domination of new talent, new faces all over the place. Like Discord tier is always the one that's really kind of outshining. But now in Transcendence tier, we're seeing with the adjustment of the SR cap, we're seeing that similarly happen there. From the teams that were kind of left over after last season, the biggest name that kind of stands out to me is Dirt. So there's a lot of talent in our higher seeds, and I cannot wait to find out what these tiers have to bring to the table.
I like Dirt.
I like Dirt.
I like Dirt too.
I like Dirt.
Nice.
All right, Booth, go ahead.
So I kind of had written down what everybody else said, so I'm going to go in a different direction now. I'm excited to see how us changing the format with our first map now for the weeks, giving Ilios for this first week for everybody. See how that's going to affect everybody. If there's going to be, if teams are going to handle things, they're going to be more prepared for it. I always felt like Control was always the map that was more up in the air because you could kind of just run around with your heads cut off and still end up getting a victory somehow. Because
Don't call me out like that.
Personal attacks will not be tolerated. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how teams react to that, change to it. For some of the teams that have been around, this is a new concept. If they haven't been in other organizations or groups that have done that, this is a new thing for them to look into.
All right. And our final question here as part of Amp It Up is the cold hard truth or the spicy hot take. And we let the casters choose which one they would like to pick. We'll start with NPC. What you got for us here?
I have a cold, hard truth. The truth is that half of you out there will lose.
What?
This week?
That's
I don't know
impossible.
if the math checks out there, NPC. We need to run it through
That's
the calculator.
impossible.
Yeah, no, half of the teams out there are going to lose.
right.
It's going to happen. Okay? But just because you lose the game does not mean you have to lose your dignity. Okay? I don't want to get on Twitter
Fair.
and see one of these. Me lose. Me no get heals. Your team very bad. You only win because Farah one trick go boom boom. Okay? Don't make excuses. All right?
You've all
Okay.
lost to me in the past. It's okay.
All right? Okay? I don't want to see this.
Oh my
I don't want to
gosh.
see this. Okay?
Oh my
Just
God.
if you want to see what I want to see this on Twitter. Okay? I want to see this. Hour Zero played all day Saturday in the Tranquility Open to get to the finals and lose $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they said? Thank you to everyone who showed us support. Congratulations, ATK. We can't wait to come back even stronger next time.
And they did. They
this,
did too.
and they did come back. And they did come back. But this is
They
the
did,
tweet.
for sure.
We didn't see excuses. We didn't see, oh, I played like dog water. We didn't see any of that. Okay. We didn't see that. We saw them say, hey, GG's, we had a great time. Thank you, everybody, for the opportunity. We'll come back. They lost $1,000. This is a for free tournament. Okay. You lose this week, you come back next week stronger. It's fine. We've got stages and pools. It's not the end of the world.
The best
Don't
thing,
fall apart on
One-
week one.
one of
That's
the
all I'm
best
saying.
one of the best things about our format is even if you lose all your games in stage 1, you're definitely not out of it. Just telling you right now, there's so much ability to climb back into this thing. Effectively, almost every single week that you have in the regular season between stage 1 and stage 2 will be a relevant game for you, even if you lose basically every single match until the final week. That last week could be just enough to put you into the playoffs. It's just the way the format works. We have an opportunity for you guys to really, every game matters. So in the end, keep playing it out. Keep
A
grinding.
3-1 is way better than a 4-0. So
Exactly.
don't give up on that last map.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, you could win map differential over another team later and get to the playoffs. You never know.
Exactly. All right, Bard, take us away here.
All right, I'm a rule breaker, so I've got one of each. Spicy hot take. You're all bad. Moving on.
True.
Cold hard truth.
Oh man.
It is way too early for any of you to feel comfortable with where your team is at or the skill level that you're playing at. If you've just won preseason, congrats. You have fancy scrimbucks. You are playing against teams who are only getting better, who are only motivated by these losses, who are only going to come at you even harder than the last game. So you cannot get comfortable. You cannot assume because you've had some success already that you're going to continue to have success going forward.
All right. Captain Jack, go ahead.
All right, so this one's a spicy hot take. This is gonna be my long bomb prediction for stage 1, and this is for all you Trank vets out there. You know who you are. I don't think not a single Tranquility-based team will go 100% undefeated in stage 1. No season 5 replays of Modify or Pogfish.
I was gonna say I knew someone else did.
We are packed this season with teams full of new talent, and they are about to shake up the hierarchy of the Tranquility community as we know it. Go out there and prove me wrong.
You just made me miss Thug.
Yeah.
Golden stages.
I did it for Thug because
Do it for
we
Thug.
missed him. Exactly. Hashtag
All
do
right.
it for Thug.
Booth, finish it off here. What you got?
Yeah, I had a cold hard truth written down, but I don't really like it anymore, so I'm gonna pull up another cold hard truth. I had somebody complain to me that one of our casters didn't understand one of the metagame plays, and I just wanted to give a little quick take. You're all in plat. You're not an owl. You don't know the metagame play either. So no, we don't know the metagame play either. Thank you.
Hey, my spicy hot take came back. You're all bad.
I kind of went full circle there.
Oh man.
Damn.
Ouch.
I guess that was more of a spicy hot. That was a
Hey,
little bit-
you know what?
Yeah, that
That
was a
was
spicy hot
so
take. That was
yeah,
a cold hard truth.
That's a fair take right there.
Yep.
Is what that is. Just remember, you're all bad.
man.
It's the moral of that story.
We're all bad.
Right. We're all bad, but we're all bad together.
Yep.
That's the best part about the Tranquility community is we're all terrible together. So,
Oh my god.
aw, shucks.
Except
and yes,
for Door.
I can't agree with
Door
what
is-
somebody or with what Pete
That's
with
true.
what
Door's not
PT
bad.
just
Door's
wrote in
Door's
chat
not
right
here
there.
anymore.
Overwatch League doesn't even know what the meta is. How the heck are a bunch of plats and diamonds gonna figure it out? Heck,
Exactly.
there's a former tier 2 coach in the community, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't know what the meta is. But he might tell you different. I don't know, but I don't think anybody actually knows.
Better idea than I do, at least.
So better idea than I do, I guess. But I'm borderline gold, so what do I know? Anyways, let's get this thing going right now. First and foremost, we're going to have a new segment every week here on the Iris Podcast, and that is basically a kind of a return to power rankings. That's right, power rankings. This is the thing that everybody malds about every week, but we decided to do it again anyways. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe I have a problem, but we're going to do it anyways. So power rankings have returned. We are ranking the top 5 in every tier. As a group of analysts, we all compiled together our top 5 teams. We rolled them up into an average and came up with a universal top 10, or universal top 5 for each tier. So we're going to jump through it really quick here. We're just going to do a quick spin through these for the first week. There's going to be a lot more movement and a lot more talk about it as we get to know these teams. And quite frankly, we don't know any teams right now. We're basing it all on preseason and we're basing it all on potential reputation. So if you're sad that you're not in the top 5 at any point this season,
Just play
my
better.
best advice is I don't care. Second,
I actually know. So if you're not in the top 5, our PayPals will be on the screen in a little while.
Yes, we accept bribes. I am not ashamed.
Yeah.
All right,
You
so
can influence
without
our
further
top
ado,
5
let's
vote.
get into your Iris top 5s for this week here, the preseason top 5s, if you will. In the Harmony tier, number 5, Strix, number 4, Doodles, number 3, the Jetpack Cats, number 2, Koala Kings, and number 1 is Flashbacks, your preseason champion. Going over now to the Discord tier, we have number 5, Q for Quarantine, number 4, SEAL Team Spuds, number 3, Joey Esports, number 2 is Nya, and number 1 is your Discord tier preseason champ, Ragnarok.
Look, Yeti, if you don't want to say it right, you can point at me and I will.
No, I won't. All right, and last but not least, this is the one that's a little different. In the Transcendence tier, you had number 5, Alpha, number 4, GDH or God Hand, number 3, the Whirlwind Wildcats, number 2, Ghostly Peppers, and number 1, a team that didn't play in the preseason. A lot of reputation-based claims here regarding this team, and that's Dirt.
I like Dirt.
A lot of people like Dirt coming into this season. They had a fantastic run at the end of the Transcendence tier last season, and they were the lowest SR team last season when this was a 4K average.
Mm-hmm.
tournament for them. Now they've changed their roster. They made some modifications to get down to a Transcendence Tier level roster, and they still have some of the old favorites. Dragon is back, and
Vanguard.
Truth is back. Lots to fear on that team from the Transcendence Tier. So Dirt looks to be really good. But guys, again, these are going to change every week. We don't know what they're
Dirt won't. They could lose all their games. They'll be number one every time.
They'll still be
Number one in our hearts.
Until,
we like Dirt.
until somebody
guys.
else becomes
Not
the
gonna change.
name.
All right.
That's what it's going to be.
Let's get past the top 5 then. We'll do a lot more talk about the top 5 throughout the season. Let's get to a segment we do this every season. We call it Top of the Class. So each of the analysts here is going to do a quick bit about what returning team and one new team is their favorite in each tier. And we are going to start in the Harmony tier. NPC, go.
All right. Returning team. Maelstrom. They're back. I'm putting the pressure on every single podcast. I always pick them as like my number one team, and then I get a DM from at least 3 of them. Dude, don't put that much pressure on us, okay? All right. So last season, right? It was season 3. They did great. Season 4, they moved up to Discord tier, and I believed, and it didn't work out. And then season 5, they got back to basics. They played some off roles. They had a fun season. I feel like they all learned a lot playing those off roles and kind of grew as players, not necessarily in SR, but they have better game sense and knowledge about what players synergize by playing those opposite roles. So now they're back, and most of them are back on their main roles. We got Crispy, Triage, Mountainfall, Caden. That's just a lot of big names coming in there, and I'm a big fan. I'm a Maelstrom fan, I gotta say. My new team coming in, Harmony tier. I'm looking through there's a lot of new talent, and it's so hard to pick, but I picked Vanguard. I picked Vanguard for this reason. Their roster is gigantic. They've got all 10 slots filled. All these teams are struggling to find players. They're like, I need a DPS, I need a tank. I've only got 5. They're locking in tomorrow because they can't find players. But Vanguard's over here, they got more players than they know what to do with. They must be doing something right. They gotta be doing something over there to keep those players
2 weeks
around.
Now, they drop 4.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, thank goodness. All right.
So no one else can have them.
All right.
You know what they did? They didn't do that. They trimmed the fat. Okay. That's what they did. They didn't just drop 4. They trimmed the fat. So now they're lean and mean. I like it.
All right,
Vanguard.
Bard, go ahead.
All right. Well, returning teams. This was actually kind of easy for me. I picked Jetpack Cats. Well-known org, well-known team. It's going to be a bit of a trend for the next few that we're going to see some more aerial felines. But for now, I'm sticking on Jetpack Cats. They've already got 2 players, I think, who've hit Diamond since lock-in. One of them is on the road to Masters because he's just cracked. I've played with him a bunch. He's incredible. And they've also got like community favorites like Yoon on the team. And we've already seen it last season how good they can be with a good tank, a good support, and a good DPS lineup, just running with the coaches that they've had forever. So I really don't expect Jetpack Cats to struggle at all, to be honest. If I'm picking a team to say you have a chance at a golden stage, it's Jetpack Cats, honestly. They won't, but they're the ones that I'm saying have a chance.
All right.
Won't, but they have a chance.
What about a
for new teams? I've decided to pick the Koala Kings.
Shocker.
Because it was much easier in Discord tier to pick a new team because there's only 3 returning. But in Harmony tier, a lot of the teams I knew. And so I know nothing about most of the new ones except Koala Kings, who I know have, and Vino, who I know play the meta really well, who I saw in preseason. It was also a pretty easy pick.
All right. Captain Jack, who do you got here? Who's the returning team in the Harmony tier you're looking at?
All right. So my returning team for the Harmony tier, this is a team that I knew before joining the Tranquility community, and that's Void. They joined Tranquility during season 5. They did what we recommend that all new teams do, kind of test the waters, see who the big fish are, see kind of where that skill level is, where you got to get to. And I think that this season, Void's going to hit the event horizon and be one of those top tier teams. And now going to our new teams. I mean, this one, when I read this name, it just, you look at the logo and it just sends shivers up your spine. And that's Gannicus. Like who the heck is making those types of gains in quarantine, folks? Have you seen that logo? You see that name? I just gotta believe that with all that power, there's got to be a stacked team behind it, and the rest of Harmony has got to be working hard on those strats so that they can keep up.
Preach it, Jack.
Like,
Heck yeah, man.
amen.
All right, Booth, who you got on this one?
I mean, I was surprised nobody said them, but I mean, I'm not an admin, so I'm allowed to like
That's
the
true.
flashbacks.
That's true.
So,
everybody on the admin staff.
we don't
hates
like-
flashbacks.
We've had a bit
Yes,
of technical
just to make
difficulties,
sure,
and
yes.
Booth won't be
Yeah.
joining us on the podcast.
Right.
anymore.
It's a requirement if you're on the podcast. You hate the flashbacks. It's just they're clowns.
I'm sorry.
So,
Well,
yeah.
it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
If I'm going out like this, I might drop a couple more spicy hot down. I'm just kidding.
Uh,
No, but I mean, I don't know how we can really pick against them. There's a couple other teams I think are going to do great still. I mean, like Jetpack Casper, my number 2 team, I was going to list on here, but I mean, flashbacks didn't look like the flashbacks we saw last preseason, but I don't think that's because of the team. I think it's because of the other teams around them. I think the level of play has just risen across the whole Harmony tier. But with the coaching staff they have, it's hard for me not to still go with them as my favorite for the season.
All right. What about returning or new teams?
So for new teams, it's hard to think. There's only like 5 new teams total coming in.
Not
A
a
couple
whole
are
lot.
rebranded. So this was a tough one. And I don't want to be that guy, but I went with Bard there. I did Koala Kings. I mean, I didn't get to catch too much. I got to watch them here in the preseason because I was
look really good.
doing that match.
They-
But I mean, they were playing fantastic. That was
picking the finalists.
They looked really
Flashbacks
good.
of Koala King.
It was a bold. It
easy
was a
day,
bold take to
easy
go.
day.
Yeah, right. That was bold.
I tip my crown.
Courage.
I just gotta say that counting out the flashbacks is a very dangerous idea. Yes, they are clowns, no question about it. But until somebody beats them, how can you not call them the favorite?
well, we're
Look,
not
they're
counting
bad,
them
but they're not,
out.
like,
It's just
bad.
no, I know,
people know.
I know. My favorite, personally, flashbacks. I'm also looking at in the Discord, in the new teams. I have to agree. It's Koala Kings. It's just I feel like there's a very good chance we saw a preview of the finals in the preseason. I just feel like both those teams are really good. And I feel like there's legitimately a chance that these teams just run the table. So I know Bard said that won't happen. I don't agree. I think Koala Kings and I think flashbacks are good enough to run the table. So also team to watch Doodles. Nobody talking about Doodles. Stop not talking about Doodles.
I mean,
You're
Jack
making-
hasn't talked yet.
You're
so
making a
keep
dumb
going.
mistake by not talking about Doodles. No, Jack's talked.
Yeah, I did
Jack
mine
was third.
already.
Bard not paying attention again, everybody. NPC, kick us off in the Discord tier. Who do you got?
Mark that on your bingo sheet.
Discord tier. Okay, so this is
Drink
man,
my
the
other-
Discord
bingo.
tier. It's stacked. There's a lot of good teams coming in. I've got a list of like 3 here, but I got SEAL Team Spuds as my returning team. A lot of big names there. Teammate, Death Knot, Beppo, Kiddo, Seraph, Dwang. That's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent. You know, they've got nowhere to go but up or down. And I mean, I believe in them. I think they're a good group of people, and I like SEAL Team Spuds. That's my Discord tier team.
What about
returning?
A new team?
A new team? Oh man. You know what? Yeti shirt says it all. Ragnarok, Insight, the monster on DPS. Thor, amazing tank swinging that hammer. Brian on tank. Oh my gosh. Just their roster is stacked. He's on top of it. I can tell. I'm the tier director for that tier, and he's like right on top of his roster changes. He knows what needs to be done. He's following the rules. I don't see any like disqualifications or something coming from that team. So I feel like they're gonna do what they need to do, and they're gonna Ragnarok and roll.
Oh my god!
Oh,
All right,
There it is.
Bard,
There we go.
okay,
Bard,
We're
sorry.
getting
go ahead.
started. Let's go. Let's go.
So for returning teams, and I foreshadowed this a bit, I'm gonna pick Flying Lions. Just solid org, solid coaching line that they've got throughout the org. They get help from the higher tier and lower tier. Everyone works together really well in the aerial felines, and the roster is just kind of stacked. I don't really know what else to say. Like, they kind of have everything covered, especially in this meta. Like, I don't think they're gonna have many issues. And then for new teams, look, we've had this conversation in the past, and I've been told that picking your own team is a bit of a dick move.
No.
So I was going to pick Ragnarok, but then NPC did. So I've decided that
Oh,
Unbiased
boy.
Bard might actually be dead. So I'm going to pick Mechanized because we
Oh my
scrimmed
God.
Ragnarok. I can't. Yeah, I'm going to pick. Yeah. Fuck it.
All right. Bard has been deleted, so let's go to Captain Jack. Captain Jack, you're up.
Well, I can definitely tell that my sheet's been hacked for this week, so I'll be starting off also with the Flying Lions. You know, as a cat dad, meow, I have to give some love to the Flying Lions. You know, they pulled out an amazing reversal during the playoffs last season. Like many of us here on the Iris podcast, when we were doing our bracketology, didn't see the Flying Lions going very far based on kind of previous track record. Not that they were doing bad necessarily, just kind of the teams that they were getting ready to come up against. It was going to be a rough fight, and they were rough fights, and Flying Lions over and over and over again came out on top. So, you know, you got to be watching out for those cats this time around, folks. Do not the cat. And my second team that I'm also going to lock in because I have so much written about it is Mechanize, because there is a lot of Harmony talent coming up to the Discord tier this season. You've got Sips, the big Diva Bombs T, Cactus, the absolute clutcher on the DPS. The main tank's a little bit questionable, just a little bit.
Coming up from Harmony tier.
But
Did we say Cactus is the absolute clutcher on DPS?
yeah, Cactus the clutcher. I had to make it rhyme. All right,
Okay,
just
all right.
just go with me.
Cactus
all right?
and clutcher rhyming?
I know, right? Weird.
Be like alliteration.
Alliteration, whatever. I'm not an English major. All right, get off my back. But nevertheless, there are new and old names like on Mechanized. You know, this is kind of, we've seen this with other teams. We've seen this with Starch Esports, with Aerial Felines, and now it's Tempered Metal's turn to kind of like start making those leaps from the Harmony tier. Now they're in the Discord tier, and who knows, come season 7, they might be having a Transcendence tier of their own.
All right. And last but not least, Booth, who you got?
Sorry, I just had a horrible vision of Bard and Transcendence tier next season. Oh my God. Anyway, so
Bard filling main support next season because nobody
complete the cycle, man. So for returning teams, I went with Joey Esports. I know the roster's changed up a little bit from last season, but I mean, that was a complete turnaround from stage 2. That was a great success story for if you guys want to talk about teams having a rough stage 1 and turning everything around. I think 1-4, and then made it to the end against the Habs, which, I mean, the Habs are going to be one of the favorites this season as the Ghostly Peppers anyway, jumping ahead on that. But no, I think Joey Esports have got to be a team in everybody's mind. I think it's a good group of people behind all of them, sharing resources with Koala Kings. But for new teams, I went with one that I wouldn't have said until I got to record the beat drop with Captain Jack yesterday. I'm going with the Blizzard Bears. You know, that game against Ragnarok, I wish that would have
Very
been
good team.
almost a feature
Very
game
good
because
team.
because that wasn't just an Iris podcast close 3-2. That was an actual close 3-2.
Yeah.
And they're hungry, man. They had a lot to say about that game, and they had all of their mistakes almost itemized for us, saying, I did this wrong, I'm going to do this right next time, and they're going to be hungry coming into the season. And the branding's great. I mean,
can't argue with the brand. The branding. The branding looks great. Yeah,
fantastic.
That was one team definitely. That was the new team that I picked as well. Was Blizzard Bears. Oh, look, Bard's still gone. I'll fix that here. There we go. All right, he's back.
You don't
He's
need to
back,
fix
everybody. No, my new team was Blizzard Bears. I have to say, very, very good team. I mean, I might be piloting the Ragnarok fan club right now, but I'm also a Blizzard Bears guy, and I'm going to give a little shout out to Blizzard Bears here because I think it's deserved. My returning team, and this is completely unbiased, I truly believe there's no question about it, SEAL Team Spuds. Anyways, move on to the next one here. Going to be next one here is going to be the Transcendence Tier. Take it away, NPC.
You can skip me. I've got a list and jokes for every single one. The trans tier is so stacked. I've got them. Just skip me. Come back to the end. I'll pick up somebody they didn't take.
All right, Bard, go ahead.
I get to be the first one to say dirt.
You do.
Gosh dang it, dude.
All right. So he said dirt.
Yeah.
I like dirt.
Okay, moving on.
I like
Next,
dirt.
moving
Yeah,
on.
all right, moving on. New teams. Look, Yeti picked his own team, right? And that's we on the podcast we call that a bit of a dick move.
Well, that a bard move.
I call it a bar.
Yeah, we
I'm
call
gonna
it a
just-
bard move.
synonyms,
Super
synonyms.
pretty
We're
45
fine.
seconds ago.
I don't know what you're talking about, Booth.
Family friendly show.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Blixkis, Ninja
Blixkis?
Deadpool
Yep,
Transcendence Tier team.
we'll figure this one out eventually.
Yeah, I'm gonna call them Ninja Deadpool Trans Tier team because that's what
Okay.
their logo is, and I really like it. And I think they look pretty interesting. Like they got 10 people on their roster, which I actually really like with the current meta. They are coming in here with like quite a few different like SR ranges on all of their roles, and their logo is really awesome. So that's all I really need to see to pick them.
Big logo. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Captain Jack, what do you think?
All right. So for me, since obviously I can't talk about dirt, I'm gonna have to go. Even though they're new to Transcendence Tier, they're not new to Tranquility. So I'm gonna have to go with Tempest. They have been doing a lot of work in the off season. You know, they were absolute fire in the Discord tier during season 5, and you know, sometimes you get to the playoffs, the pressure hits you, and you trip at the finish line. And it's okay. You know, it happens to all of us. But I absolutely feel that they are ready to come back. And it's pretty much the exact same roster. You got Stand of Games, you got Nagisa, you got Shadowfang, and Cryptic, and Iconic, and Placebo. Pretty much the entire team plus Canned Potato now, ready to absolutely rock the Transcendence Tier. So I am ready to see that happen. And then for my new team, I have a little bit of a running theory, so stick with me. Caprophobia. So when you look at new teams, that's kind of the one that stuck out to me. Now, you know, the name, it actually means a fear of goats, or does it mean a fear of goats, like the greatest of all time? I know, it seems really crazy, but you know, I feel like Caprophobia. Come here. They can sense the fear in the air in the Transcendence Tier, all right? And they know they're the GOAT. Okay, they know it. And so
They're
all the
afraid of
big name
themselves?
teams, yeah. So well, it's more so that they're in pushing that on everyone else, you know. So they're trying to get people to be afraid of them. So big name teams, I see you shaking in your boots. You better be ready.
All right, Booth, what do you got?
So for returning teams, even though they weren't in the tier last season, I went with Ghostly Peppers. I mean, it's almost the same roster coming in from the Heckin' Habaneros, and I mean, it's hard not to again pick against them. I don't know how I keep accidentally picking the teams that won the preseason and nobody else has on a few of these.
Because people are in denial.
They've won a few, but I mean, you can pick a role and then name the player because they have the 6-man roster. Pick any player in the team, and you're like, oh yeah, that's one of the best people in that role in the Transcendence Tier, most likely. But then for new teams, I went with One Last Freak. So I mean, obviously, I know the Twitch team here, but looking at that roster, and they got some stacked players on there. But I have a theory as to why they're going to do well here. Okay, so we all heard the rumors, or I don't know if it's even you can say rumors anymore, about Overwatch 2 being released a little bit further back. So what you don't know is that the reason this happens is that Blizzard's pushing through a patch where they're going to change how ladder works, and it's all going to go to quad DPS. Now, bear with me. Once that happens, we need to adjust with that, of course, right? So One Last Freak is prepared for this. They have 4 roster DPS players. They're going to be laughing at all of us and just steamroll through the whole community because they're playing like 20 moves ahead of us.
Okay.
All right.
The 4-1-1, I'm ready for it.
I'll follow it.
Does that mean we have to play ball more?
Chat, all I know is that you guys are with
Go
me.
away.
What?
Remember
What?
this day.
Okay.
You heard it here.
What?
All right.
For once, I'm agreeing with.
I mean,
Cactus.
we
That's
were
my
we
guess.
were looking at 3-2-1 not long ago, so it's not a far stretch.
All right. NPC, what do you got?
Okay, you know, you guys took some on my list. Tempest, Ghostly Peppers, those are some good picks. But you know, returning team, God Hand. You guys are missing it. I mean, it's the same roster. They're just switching roles here. I mean, you got Orsted, you got Zuby, you got Minnie, you got Aurora, you got Andy, you got Ice. That's top tier talent right there, and most of them are flexing on roles. I feel like it's going to be big.
The gamble is, do they make it to the end of the season?
Yeah,
that's the question. But you know what? I think they'll be fine.
True.
I think they'll be fine.
You got to make it to the end in order to be the team to look out for.
Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. They're going to do it. I believe in you. Okay. So new team. You also took Caprophobia. A new team with a lot of returning people.
Mm-hmm.
I picked the Decapitators. Okay, look at their roster though. Abstract. He tried out for Undead Battery. I know he's abs cracked. Okay, they've got Laser Blitz, Choke, Absol. They've even got the Return of the King. All right, Decapitators. Don't underestimate them.
It's a good roster. No bias.
No, it really is. It really is.
No bias whatsoever. All right, let's get to our next segment of the night and our final segment before we get to predictions tonight. We talk a lot about teams. Let's talk about some players. We're going to get right into it right now. Preseason MVP favorites in each tier. Go ahead, NPC, start us off in the Harmony tier.
Oh man, I also wrote like so many for this. I wrote so many. Harmony tier. Let's just name recognition alone right here. Yoon, Jetpack Cats. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like you said, it's too early to pick an MVP. We haven't seen half the players play, but Yoon, you know where you love her.
Yep.
Boom.
All right. Bard, who you got? Harmony tier, current MVP favorite.
Well, I thought I was going last because that's how it went all last season.
But you're
so
not.
I wrote 4 down. My first one was Yoon because she was new last season and was second to Sipsty.
All right.
But this season, I think I'm going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Navino. Coming down from Discord tier, he's camping the upper end of plat, making sure that I can't get to diamond on tank. Man's cracked. I don't know. There's nothing else to say. Koala Kings look good. He looks good. Good meta for him.
To quote members of the Koala Kings in chat right now, no, stop. All right.
Hey, don't worry. I'll ping him and let him know.
Cat and Jack, go ahead.
All right. So for mine, I kind of went. I knew some of the names that were going to get picked, so I kind of went a little out of the way to try to find some good ones. So there's been a lot of talk lately about this new Godzilla versus King Kong movie. Happened like 40 years or 60 years ago now. The original. But you know what would be better than Godzilla versus King Kong? Some Godzilla. Just combine the two, and you already got that for your Harmony tier MVP from the Jersey Boys. I mean, this team had a really great showing last season, and they're pretty much the same exact team, you know, working, building off of that experience. And I think Godzilla on that main tank going to be leading the charge right into the tier, and they're just going to take it. I just think Godzilla is going to take it.
All right, Booth, who you got?
All right, I went back to the Jetpack Cats, but I went with Toxic Blade, Tank. A little biased, used to be on my team, but he's so coachable, crazy hardworking, great person, loved in the community, just all around cracked. They're a huge addition and pickup for that team. I think one of their best pickups, honestly, in the offseason, and definitely going to be a favorite, I think, going for MVP on the Harmony side.
All right, let's bring it to Discord tier now. NPC, who do you got?
Okay, are we ready? I wrote down one, but I think I'm going to let somebody else have it. I'm going to pick. Okay. Follow me on this one. Are you ready? Bard on main tank.
Oh, Jesus.
I believe.
Oh, no. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Bard
God.
MVP, main tank.
Somebody got the needle arm.
Let's go.
I don't even think his team believes in him as the main tank, let alone.
No, I believe.
Yeah, I thought we were friends, NPC.
Good God.
Yeah,
You have to put him on the spotlight
Okay,
now.
all right. I'll go back.
All right.
It's actually insight from Ragnarok. I mean, that's just
Makes
correct.
sense.
Good choice. Good
That's
choice.
that's the good one. I
Very
had to
good
throw the
choice.
meme out there.
All right, Bard, who do you got?
Well, first of all, I don't have 14 deaths per 10. Juice, don't lie to the people. I have 24 deaths per 10. And I'm gonna pick Seraph, the sheriff, the main man, because he's cracked, and we all know him from last season. He won. I have no reason not to pick him. Yeah, no, it's easy pick.
All right, simple enough. Captain Jack, who do you got here?
So, as you all know, I'm a tank simp, and one name that got so close but was so far away was Vet on Aphelion this season now. Vet has been a trank name for a really long time. You know, what I believe was up for MVP, but, you know, ended up losing out, just kind of how the votes shook out. But, I mean, boy's got talent. You know, those shaddies always coming up huge. And I think with this new meta, they've got to be working around. So, you know, although it seems that Vet might be from the furthest point from that MVP spot, I think that this next shatter that Vet lays down is going to shake the entire Overwatch universe, and just let us know that Vet's coming for that spot. That's an Aphelion joke. If you didn't get that for this point from this one. Okay.
Just saying. Booth, go ahead. Wrap us up here.
So I would love for it to be a tank player down in my heart, but I'm sorry, it has to be DPS. It's just how it works. I'm going to the Flying Lions. I'm going with Upsetting. Upsetting was so big, I think, on that side for them in their previous seasons, and I think it's going to be a name that keeps showing up for him, right? I mean, for Jetpack Cats did a great job. I just think this is the right move for them to be able to make it up here and continue on with their role. And I think it's cool. I mean, because it'd be fun to see him playing against some better talent now. But the whole roster and Flying Lions will help enable them a lot, quite too. I mean, it's a good team. It's a great team.
I just have to say, two favorites that nobody talked about, and I'm a little surprised. Number one, Flying Lions, Lazuli. Huge name from the Harmony tier last season, climbed his way almost into Masters, now has climbed since locking into Masters. The dude is cracked. He is hitting all his shots right now. Lazuli, huge threat right now in the Discord tier for MVP. And I do have to shout, I mean, there's never been a year of unbiased Yeti. So I just have to give a quick shout out really quick to my SEAL Team Spuds. I got to give a shout out to Beppo. Just saying, if you're looking at any tank in the Discord tier, Beppo's a really good one to watch. Just throwing that out there right now. All right, let's get it off to the Transcendence tier now. NPC, who do you got?
Okay, this is gonna sound like another meme pick, but I'm dead serious. Cryptic Force from Tempest.
Yeah,
gotta do it. Look, okay, if Tom Brady can come back and win the 7th,
That's
okay,
right.
for a different team, okay,
he's gotta do it.
Cryptic Force can jump teams and do it again. Okay, I'm just saying. He could do it.
I like the storyline where Cryptic's the Tom Brady of Tranquility.
I mean, basically,
he does have one ring, so he just needs
he already has one ring.
Just needs 6 more rings.
So Cryptic by season 27 of Tranquility.
Okay. Bubba's got a point. Tom Brady got carried.
If we're on the trend,
have you seen the Tempest roster?
If we're on the trend of him winning 7 championships here, he's done 1 in 6 seasons, so that means by season 42 he will have won his 7th ring.
Easy day.
So I'm just saying, by then I will be about 55 to 60 years old.
Okay, look,
Mr. PDK will be happy about the
PDK will still be under 18. Like, that's the crazy. Like, it's just like, oh my god.
Logistically, PDK will never be over.
PDK's voice still hasn't dropped.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anyways, let's. Sorry, we can't just
see all the emotions in PDK.
And somehow by season 42, Cryptic will still be feeding. So
I mean, that's how he won a trophy. So. Why stop now?
Let's move along then here, y'all. Transcendence tier MVP. Who do you got, Bard?
Well, I've been looking at the meta a lot, and Sombra's really good right now. And as we all know, I like dirt. So Dragon is going to be my MVP.
Okay.
Because, none of you are going to get to use any of your ultimates because you'll be hacked 24/7 and then dead. Because Dragon is going to be playing Sombra, and then you'll all be hacked and then dead. And then you'll respawn, and then you'll be hacked, and then you'll be dead. It's a loop, basically. You see where I'm going with this. He'll be MVP.
Okay.
Captain Jack, who do you got?
So you all being so mean to my pick for the Transcendence Tier, because that's going to PDK on Battalion. The proest of the pro Junkrat mains has ascended. They have spread out that DPS roster. They've got more heroes on their belt, and now they are sitting with that army, rather a battalion, ready to strike the Transcendence Tier. You know, again, another near miss for the MVPs last season, but has grown so much in the offseason. I just, they're just going to blow it up. They're going to blow up that MVP spot.
All right, PDK, chosen by Captain Jack. Who
Got
do you got?
Got you.
I went with GDH. I went with Mini. Mini, I thought was going to be one of the favorites last season for MVP anyway. And it's already kind of a popular team in the first place and was already cracked. So I loved whenever I got to produce the GDH games because whenever I was like wanted to look at my phone or something, I just like started spectating Mini and like looked down on my phone and started texting for a bit because I'm like, this is all this. You
Human
see
highlight reel. Human highlight reel.
A look behind the scenes, folks, of how our production works.
Put it on Mini,
Mini and you win.
Just put it on
Sounds
Mini. Easy production. Easy.
All
game.
right. So that's our way too early MVPs. Odds are, will these hold up? Absolutely not, because that's how it is. If it was all about predictions, then playing the games would be pointless and stupid. But guess what? We play the games. Speaking of predictions, we got a prediction segment this season. By the way, we're doing things a little bit different. We're making a competition. For those of you who don't know, we have a pretty large cast of analysts this season on the Iris podcast. We have the 5 of us, as you see on the screen right now. But in addition to that, we have the return of Specs. We have debuting. We have also on a return. We have Death Knot. In addition to that, returning, joining the podcast for the first time, we have BethCon, we have Triage, and we have Harmony Giant. So we have brand new casters this season, and we are going to create a competition for these prediction segments. So instead of doing kind of boring, like predict one match, everybody predict one match, we're not doing it that way. That's boring. We're breaking it up a little bit here. We have 2 predictions that we're going to do at the end of the podcast here every week. We first have what's called the lock of the week. Every analyst will pick one team in the community that they say, yeah, there's no way this team is losing. That is my lock this week. They are going to win for certain. If they do that, they receive a certain amount of points. They receive 1 point. If they win and get the score right, they get 2 points. If they lose a point. So your lock of the week, you're pretty confident in them. But here's the thing. You can only pick that lock once the whole season. So if I were to pick Ragnarok this week, I can't pick Ragnarok the following week or at any point in the season. In addition to that, nobody can duplicate anybody. So we had to draft these picks. So everybody's picked a different lock. So if you're going to pick a team, you got to be confident in that team, because the last thing you want to do is lose points. The last place person is going to be punished. We haven't fully decided what that punishment's going to be. It could be spice. It could be sour. It could be a lot of things. We haven't fully decided.
I will eat an entire raw onion on stream.
All right, Bard has committed to his punishment. So an entire raw onion from Bard on stream if he
For
loses.
reference, I am allergic to onions.
Okay.
Well,
So
yeah,
we
please no.
won't
No.
do that.
Can somebody
Not deadly,
please,
not deadly.
I am
I'll just be very
requesting a
uncomfortable for
clip.
while.
I see Sips T, you're in chat there. Could you please clip him saying that? That'd be great. Thank you. All right, cool. Anyways, let's move on then. So that's the lock of the week. And the people that aren't here tonight, they also had to pick their locks of the week here. And in that lock, we have Death Knot picking Blizzard Bears over Lotus, Harmony Giant picking Infrared over Ember, Specs picking Maelstrom over Nuclear, which there is no Nuclear anymore.
Nuclear.
So
we can't give it to
So,
Specs.
Specs actually loses all of the points.
So Specs has already won.
Sorry, Specs. You should have seen that coming. That's what the predictions are.
Triage picks Joey over Calamitas, and Beth picks Koala Kings over Valkyrie. Let's get to the
Can you say the name of that team again for me?
Which team?
Triage is
Calamitas.
Calamitas.
I say it that way too.
Calamitas.
That's so Texas.
That's not how you say it, but it sounds so tropical that way. Calamitas. You know
what?
So Texas.
If you name your team that, it's gonna get mispronounced. Anyways, moving on because this is boring. NPC, who do you got for your lock of the week this week? What's your prediction?
NPC's lock of the century of the week is Boop.
Oh.
3-1. Okay, they've already played Miami Yikes in the preseason and they won it. Boop's gonna take this 3-1. Both teams have had a chance to get better, so anything could happen. That's why we play these matches. But I think Boop's gonna take it 3-1. I think they're gonna win the first 3 maps and they're gonna sandbag that last one. They're gonna get overconfident. They're just gonna go in and do whatever.
All right, Bard, who do you got for your lock of the week?
So, as a note, I won both of these last season. I don't know why people are saying that I'm definitely taking punishment. What is this?
Just go. You're boring.
Secondly, I have picked Aurora to beat Frost 3-1. I kind of went with the people on this one. I think Aurora just has a better roster, and I think 3-1 is a pretty solid run for both teams.
Aurora doesn't have me anymore, by the way. I was just a ringer for the preseason.
Yeah, they're better.
I think they're going to. Okay, now I'll change it to 4-0 then.
Yeah,
they don't have NPC anymore.
Yeah, they're
It's
better.
4. No.
All right.
3-1 for Aurora.
Captain Jack, your lock of the week.
All right, my lock of the week. As a cat dad, I gotta give them one. Jetpack Cat's gonna be taking it against Strix 3-1 in this week's Harmony tier matchup. I mean, we've already talked about it. Toxic Blade, Athena, Yoon. I mean, that team is absolutely stacked, and I think they're gonna be a really good start for our lock-ins.
All right. Booth, who you got?
This one hurts me deep, but I went with Modify 4-0 over Get Off My Land. I'm sorry, Get Off My Land hasn't had the right RNG calculator to figure out who's playing what role for what map yet. They have to tune that. It's going to take a few weeks. And in the time being,
we roll the dice
Modify's
right
gonna be
before
ready.
we start. Okay,
There's no RNG. It's just
we
absolutely
don't work
the
it
roll
out.
of
It's
the
a
dice.
system.
Oh, and by the way, I'm participating in this competition too. I went with a team that is so good, I decided to wear their shirt tonight. Ragnarok is going to win 4-0 over the Flying Lions. I got them taking this one. I think, sorry, cat dads, I got to say it. Ragnarok is just too good. And you know what? If I'm going to burn them any week, I'm going to burn them this week because I can't pick them the rest of the season now. So, all right, guys. The next type of prediction is the upset special. These upsets are based on the predictions that you guys made in the Discord in the predictions and polls channel. The casters will pick one upset. We can have repeats in this. Some people didn't probably get that memo, I think, but we can have repeats in this. You can pick an upset that multiple people can pick the same upset, but that basically has to be an actual upset as the predictions are predicting in our Discord. So you'll see that here as we get going. But anyways, your casters who aren't here tonight, their upsets of the week. We had Death Knot predicting a 3-2 Get Off My Land win over Modify. Woo! We had Harmony Giant predicting Strix 3-2 over the Jetpack Cats. Specs predicting Ultraviolet 3-1 over Phantasmal. Triage picking Corvidity over Dirt 3-1. And Bethcon picking Miami Yikes over Boop 3-1. Now, just so you know, the points on this, getting these right is very big. You're worth 3 points if you predict this correctly, and 4 if you get the score. If you get it wrong, there's no points, no harm, no foul. But getting your upset picks is just that difference you need to make sure you aren't getting punished at the end of the season. But these upsets are very critical. Guys, let's kick it off here. NPC, who do you got?
Okay, just for the record, okay, Specs went after me. We just happened to show it first. So he didn't agree. Yeah, I didn't agree with him, okay? He agreed with me. Ultraviolet 3-1 over Phantasmal. I mean, I looked at the sheets, and I think Ultraviolet they've got some tricks up their sleeve. I feel like Ultraviolet can pull this one off 3-1.
All right, Bard, who do you got?
Isn't Phantasmal Specs' team last season? Did he pick against his own team?
He sure did.
I'm sure that he would now that he's not on there anymore.
Cool. I wanted to check.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So look, I've already made it pretty clear that I like making Yeti upset. I think it's funny. So I've picked Blixkus, Ninja Deadpool.
Bard,
You're gonna laugh all the way out of the server.
Bard, I can't hear you, Bard. You're breaking up.
He can silence me, but he can't silence the truth. So good luck and Godspeed, Blixkus.
Bard has been banned from this season.
All right, Captain Jack, go ahead.
All right, so I seem to be on a cat streak, and Yeti, you're about to learn a very hard lesson this week. Do not the cat. I'm going with the Flying Lions 3-2 upset over Ragnarok. It's going to be a very close fight. Obviously, Ragnarok's a really good team, but I feel like Flying Lions already this season going to be pulling out those tricks, pulling out those clutch last second moves and 3-minute overtimes and all that jazz. I just feel like Flying Lions going to be taking this first week real hard.
I'm just saying, would you bet against this? I wouldn't bet against that. All right,
do not the cat. Do not the cat.
Or Booth, who do you got?
So I wanted to go with. I didn't really put my neck out there too much, so I wanted to go with teams that I knew nothing about, so people can't get mad about it in the first place. So I went with 3-2 win for the Seoul Cyberpunks over Q for Quarantine, which I have a reason for.
Oh, okay.
Mostly, I have a pretty good SSD on my system with enough space to hold Cyberpunk 2077. So the game wasn't that buggy for me. I'm able to play it just fine. It's a little. Sometimes there's a couple of things that make it a little unplayable, but it's enjoyable, But also, that's my favorite Branded in Tranquility now by far. I think it's great. I think it's so cool to look at.
And that's the best reasoning I think I've ever heard for good call on that one. My prediction on this one, I am going with a team. I was honestly a little surprised that people just kind of completely overlooked the team, but I'm going with them. It's Gannicus. I feel like Gannicus has a pretty good opportunity. I predicted them going 3-1 over Ranch Revolution in the Harmony tier. So that is my prediction here. Going that Gannicus route. I'm feeling that team. That's a good looking team.
Feeling the gains.
All right.
Gains, bro.
And again, getting your upsets is very, very critical for that score. We'll have score updates for you guys every week, so make sure to tune in and check those out. I know some of you guys are probably wondering, what about feature matches? Well, we have 3 feature matches this week. Tomorrow night, the Harmony tier flashbacks Season 5 champions, Season 6 preseason champions, taking on the Holy Jalapenos, who are your Season 3 Harmony tier champions in what is sure to be a fantastic match, if I do say so as a member of the Holy Jalapenos myself. In the Transcendence tier on Wednesday, that airs at 9:30 Eastern time. So a little bit right near the end of your matches. If you want to throw on the Trank stream, catch the Ghostly Peppers taking on Capraphobia, what is sure to be a fantastic
That's going to be a
match.
banger.
Really good match there. And in the Discord tier, you have Joey Esports taking on Calamitas, which is, again, going to be a great match. We'll see Joey taking on Calamitas or Calamitis or whatever the hell you want to call it. Calamitas.
It's like
Calamitas.
I like Calamitas.
I like Calamitas.
I like Calamitas.
I didn't get a pronunciation. Hey, you know what? Who runs this cast? I didn't get a pronunciation guide.
Exactly.
So, NPC, you're trying to one up your Texasness each season. So last season you had I like dirt. And that was very Texas of you. This season you got
Calamitas
on purpose. And getting to it accidentally.
All right. But if you're wondering, where are you going to get those predictions? Well, guys, we have pregame shows this season. That's right. Airing about 10 minutes roughly before each feature match, you will see a short pregame show featuring members of the Iris podcast team. They'll be breaking down the action to come that evening, talking about players to watch and predictions for the night's festivities. So be sure to tune in on time so you can catch those fantastic pre-show matches. We are really excited to bring you this new and exciting part of the Tranquility community here moving forward. And the last thing that would normally happen here is a giveaway. But we do not have a giveaway this week. We're going to give an opportunity for people to earn some channel points before we get to the giveaways. But you're probably wondering, guys, we're kicking out the season. Maybe a little bit of a more of a hype giveaway than just another t-shirt. Well, for one, the t-shirts are awesome and back off.
Boom.
Yes.
Boom.
T-shirts.
How many did we all get in this first week?
And I don't think we had a total, but it was.
I think we bought between all of us. We probably bought every shirt in the store.
I think we bought about 100. I think total.
Yeah, it was
over.
During
the
the
sale,
sale.
20% off sale is big.
It was over 100 products. Over 100 products were sold. So a lot of shirts. But here's the thing, guys. Every week, we will always at least have a minimum of a t-shirt from our Tranquility store being given away. The way you earn those giveaway points is if you look under chat, you see that little gold NPC, you see that little gold icon beneath chat there?
Oh, yeah.
Has the Tranquility logo in that. That's Trank Bucks. You earn your Trank Bucks. Those are channel points. You watch the stream.
They're even more valuable than Scrim Bucks.
They're way more valuable than Scrim Bucks.
Hashtag Scrim Bucks were trademarked.
Really, yeah. So get your Trank Bucks by watching Tranquility streams. You watch streams, you earn points. By the way, you earn extra points if you're subscribed. We don't ask you to subscribe, but if
You know what
want
else
more-
you can do? You know what else? It just occurred to me. Now that we have a feature match on Wednesday nights, if you're streaming your Tranquility game, when it ends, if you raid the Tranquility channel with your viewers, you, as the raider, get channel points, and everybody watching your stream also gets bonus channel points.
So you're saying people want to get these channel points so they can get these giveaway prizes. But NPC, most importantly, let's talk about the giveaway prizes for week 1. Guys, just get your channel points in. This one's important. Week 1, not only are we doing a t-shirt, we are also doing a hoodie. Now, hoodies are really cool. Hoodies are really cool. I'm excited about a hoodie.
Yeah.
The hoodies
I get
from the
emo
Trank-
sometimes. I need a hoodie.
The hoodies from the Trank store, very, very nice. But here's the here's the big kicker. There's way more. The first giveaway of the season, we will also be giving away a $100 Amazon gift card. So if you would like some money, straight up cash, basically, accepted from Amazon, but based on who does Amazon? $100 Amazon gift card, guys. Get your giveaway entries in. We will be drawing the winner for the $100 Amazon gift card on Monday at the end of the podcast next week. You don't have to technically be present to win it, but if you're not present, we will judge you. So, in addition to that, normally we'll have a montage. Normally we'll have the comms check. That'll all be part of future casts. We'll be bringing those to you. Make sure you get those submissions in. But most importantly, guys, it is beginning. It is time. We have been building for this for so very long. We had so much excitement in the offseason. The GOATS tournament, the Tranquility Open. Guys, we are now here. Season 6 is underway, and we are excited to kick it off tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern Time. So be sure to tune in right here on the Tranquility official Twitch channel to check out the flashbacks taking on the Holy Jalapenos. For everybody here on the cast, I am Mr. Yeti, and we will see you again next week here on the Iris.
Bye.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the Iris.